Hello and welcome to the course of Theory of Computer Science, or also known as Theory of Computation. Even though there is the word theory in the course name, we will be learning the various mathematical models of various computational machines. So let us see what we will be understanding in this particular session. We will be able to distinguish between the computing machines and all the other kinds of machines. Also, we will be able to define computation and what it means to compute completely. So, what is a computer? The word computer brings to mind a digital electronic device or a machine with a display, a mouse and a keyboard. However, there is no need for a computer to be like a modern digital electronic device. Interestingly, a computer need not have any moving parts, electrical power, display units, ALUs, or even memory. It is just the case that most present-day computers have such parts. Moreover, most smartphones, video games, GPS devices, digital tablets, and even some car entertainment units have more computing power than the best computers that were available 10 to 15 years ago. Yet, we don't often refer to such devices as computers. What is a computer then? What is the most generic form of a computing machine? We may say that a computer is a machine that accepts input, processes it, and produces output. However, if we consider the above definition, then the juice mixers, kitchen grinders, and washing machines also accepts input, processes them, and produces output. But they are not computers. Now let us improvise our definition a little bit by saying that a computer has a memory, that is, storage units. However, dishwashers, vacuum cleaners, and food processors also have storage units, but still they are not computers. Now let us understand the big difference between computers and all the above mentioned electrical appliances. The big difference is that all the electrical appliances do not make any significant decisions. That is, if we try to wash bricks instead of clothes in the washing machine or try to grind stones instead of rice and lentils, the washing machine or the grinder tries to wash or grind them anyway. A computer, on the other hand, makes significant decisions about its input. It can even reject an input. As such, a computer is a machine that accepts input, processes them to produce outputs, and is capable of storing and making decisions about its inputs and outputs. So here in this particular course, we would be studying models of abstract computing machines rather than the architecture and design of a modern digital computers. A computer is a machine that computes an output for a given input while being controlled by a program or a table of instructions. The process of transforming the input of a computing machine to its output is called computing. It usually involves storing some of the input, output, or their other intermediate forms in memory. It also involves making decisions during processing. The diagrammatic format of this particular definition goes as such. You will be having some input string starting from left to right, where your leftmost symbol will be your first symbol and your rightmost symbol will be your last symbol. And at any given point of time, a ith symbol would be given as input to our computing machine, which will either be accepted or rejected as an output. The input to a computing machine is assumed to be provided in the form of single string of symbols. The symbols are taken from a set of all possible input symbols known as the alphabet. Example, the ASCII character set. The computing machine is expected to process the input in a single left to right pass. That is, it starts with the first symbol in the input string, one symbol at a time until the entire string is processed. It is assumed that the machine is not allowed to either look ahead and see what symbols are coming later or to go back and re-examine or reprocess symbols which are already processed. Here in this course we'll be acquiring conceptual understanding of fundamentals of grammars and languages, build the concepts of theoretical design of deterministic and non-deterministic finite automata and push-down automata, develop understanding of different types of Turing machines and applications, along with understanding the concept of undecidability. The outcomes after learning or understanding this course would be that you will be able to identify the central concepts of computation and differentiate between deterministic and non-deterministic automata, along with obtaining the equivalence of NFA and DFA. You will be able to infer or understand the equivalence of languages described by finite automata and regular expressions. You will be devising regular context-free grammars while recognizing the strings and tokens using the above mentioned machines. You will be designing push-down automata to recognize the language, develop an understanding of computation through Turing machine, and you will be able to understand what do we mean by decidability and undecidability. For this, one of the prerequisites to understand this subject is discrete mathematics. So, let us begin with understanding this subject. So, when we were in school, we didn't directly learn speaking a language. Instead, we first learned the alphabets or symbols of any language. Then, we learned the spellings of words forming meaningful words. Later, using these words, we formed correct meaningful sentences, that is grammar. And finally, a language is learned. Similar process is followed when you are designing a machine, wherein your first step would be understanding what exactly are the symbols required, then using those symbols forming meaningful words, and later on designing the grammar to make your language complete. In this subject, we will be learning how to validate a language using some machines. Machines such as finite automata, push-down automata, Turing machine will be understood. But the machines are not physically used. Instead, they are the mathematical models used to understand the history of how the modern day computers were built. We would also be learning languages such as regular language, context-free language, context-sensitive language, which are generated from regular grammar, context-free grammar, and context-sensitive grammar respectively. All these languages and grammar are going to be validated using the above mentioned machines such as finite automata, push-down automata, Turing machine, etc. So why exactly do we need to study the science of computing? It constitutes the essential science behind all the computing. Knowledge of this science helps one appreciate the challenges of other subjects such as data structures, algorithms, programming languages, compilers, and operating systems. We have already come across the various P and N hard type of we have already come across various P and NP hard type of problems. So all those problems, how they have come into picture is what we will be studying in this subject. With the rapid growth of textual content on the internet, knowledge of formal language and grammar theory is essential for anyone dealing with text processing, information retrieval, search engines, or other technologies for knowledge management. Search engine design and application in particular make extensive use of regular expressions and other pattern matching techniques of formal language. Another example of a recent application of language processing technology both in e-commerce and social networking platforms can be found in text-based recommender systems on the web. The design of the compilers and the grammar and algorithmic techniques that they use can be seen as a direct application of the theory of computation. The design of programming languages is another related area that derives extensively from the model of computing and the theory of formal language and grammars. In addition to programming languages, data representation languages have become important with recent advances in XML family of language technologies. The design and processing of XML languages in web and business applications require proper understanding of theory of regular expressions and context-free grammars, as the syntax is the only main criteria where is required when we are dealing with XML language. The study of automata originated from attempts in designing automated machines such as vending machines. Automata theory continues to play a major role in the design and efficient implementation of special purpose computing machines, kiosks, etc. Automata and formal language theory also forms the basis for significant aspects of digital and VLSI design and hardware as well as software testing and verification. The specification of test plans and the generation of automatic testing scripts are but applications of grammars and the derivation of formal language strings from grammars. Finally, it appears that one who has a solid foundation in the theory of computation can cope with rapidly changing world of new computing technologies and ever more programming languages and paradigms that come with confidence and efficiency. Even if there is a breakthrough in the science of computing that changes the very model of computing, one who understands the present science well may be expected to make a smooth transition to a new science of computing. In case of any questions, do let me know and we will be solving it in the next session.